this cat does not know its owner is gone. It only knows the morning footsteps stopped, and the whole house suddenly began sounding wrong. At first, it waits by the bedroom door with patient eyes, believing this silence is temporary, the way long naps sometimes delay familiar routines. It hears someone walking outside and rushes forward instantly, because in its world, footsteps still mean return, warmth, food, touch, and order. When the sound passes the door, the cat freezes in place, confused not by absence alone, but by a promise that almost became real. People think it is being dramatic, yet the cat is really checking whether reality has changed back into the safe pattern again. Its owner was not just a person inside the home. That owner was the clock, the signal, the warmth map, the predictable center. Each morning used to arrive with one body moving, one voice calling, one bowl appearing, and one gentle hand behind the neck. Now the house still exists, but its meaning is shattered, because all the objects remain, while the organizing presence behind them never answers. So the cat begins with the only strategy it knows. Stay near the door, stay alert, and wait long enough for normal life. Hours pass, but waiting does not feel foolish to the cat, because loyalty and habit tell it the missing rhythm can still return. When evening comes without the usual key sound, suspicion appears for the first time, like a crack opening inside a world once trusted. The cat walks the hallway slowly, nose low, searching for the scent trail that should connect the door, the chair, the bed. Scent is memory made physical, and the cat follows fading traces the way humans reread old messages when they cannot accept goodbye. It jumps onto the chair where the owner rested often, then circles twice, as if the right angle might somehow bring presence back. But the fabric only gives an old smell, and that smell hurts because it proves the owner existed here without proving return. By the second day, hunger
Time
starts
to eat,
arguing
little
with grief.
friend.
Yet the cat hesitates beside food, because routine matters more than appetite now.
It's all right, come on.
A new bowl appears from another hand, and the cat steps back, unsettled by the idea that anyone else could replace authority. To people, refusing food looks stubborn, but to the cat, eating from change feels like admitting the old world is finished. So it leaves the bowl untouched and returns to the bedroom, where silence feels crueler, yet strangely closer to the missing owner. There, it scratches at the door frame, not to destroy, but to wake something impossible, like clawing at a sealed dream again. Every small sound becomes dangerous hope. A pipe clicks, fabric shifts, wind taps glass, and the cat launches forward before thinking fully. That is when waiting starts becoming obsession, because the nervous system cannot rest if every noise might reopen the broken pattern again. The cat begins sleeping lightly, ears raised even in rest, as though true sleep would be betrayal, while the owner remains unaccounted for. During the night, it cries through dark rooms, not with human words of mourning, but with raw protest against suddenly unanswered attachment. This is not the cat misunderstanding death as an idea. It is the cat being crushed by vanished responses inside a bonded routine. A bonded animal does not grieve through speeches or rituals. It grieves through disrupted patterns, broken expectations, and constant body-level alarm. So the cat patrols each room repeatedly, as if one more search will correct the mistake the house keeps making today somehow. It checks under the bed, behind curtains, near the bathroom, around the chair legs, because hidden things sometimes reappear when found properly. When no answer comes, the cat stares into empty corners, not seeing ghosts, but refusing to stop scanning for expected movement there. Its body becomes a machine for anticipation. Tense shoulders, fixed eyes.
Shadow,
Sudden
What's
pivots,
wrong?
rushed breathing,
Are you
and
okay?
bursts of motion without real destination. Anyone watching might call the cat unstable, but its panic has structure. Every frantic movement is built around a missing answer somewhere. What looks like madness is often attachment with nowhere to land, circling the same wound because instinct still expects reunion there soon. Then the cat discovers the owner's old clothes, and suddenly stillness replaces chaos, because scent can imitate presence better than sight ever. It presses its body into the fabric hard, almost flattening itself, as though closeness to that smell might stop the world from shifting. And when another person reaches for those clothes, the cat growls low, guarding not fabric itself, but the last intact doorway inward. From then on, the house divides into sacred places and false places, depending on where the owner's scent still lingers most strongly. The bed becomes a shoreline, where memory keeps washing back. And so, the cat leaves one space untouched, as if saving it carefully. Each evening, it sits across from the empty chair, staring with the patience of a creature convinced silence must eventually apologize somehow. At the hour the owner once returned, the cat runs to the door automatically, because the body remembers schedules longer than reason. Nothing happens, yet the cat repeats the ritual the next day, and the next, because disappointment has not defeated hope yet inside. This is the cruel center of attachment. Routine teaches expectation so deeply that absence feels temporary long after truth has hardened elsewhere. The cat is not choosing denial like a person might. Its senses are trapped between fading evidence and habits still firing daily. So when a curtain moves in night wind, the sound lands like a miracle, sharp enough to electrify the whole body instantly. The cat bolts from the corner, eyes wide, heart racing through the rooms, because for one terrible second, return feels absolutely certain. It leaps onto tables, knocks objects down, searches every doorway, and cries until its voice frays, trying to catch the vanished signal. But the house answers with emptiness again, and that second betrayal cuts deeper, because false hope wounds harder than steady silence alone. After that night, something changes.
You
in the
haven't
cat
moved in
permanently.
hours.
I know.
Expectation stops feeling innocent
I know.
and starts feeling desperate, brittle, and easily shattered inside. Sometimes it sits motionless for hours, conserving energy like a statue, as though movement might disturb the invisible trace it is guarding. Other times it sprints from room to room without clear reason, because tension with no solution often spills out as restless motion. Both states come from the same broken place. A mind built for routine, trapped inside a home where routine no longer closes. The cat begins sniffing corners obsessively, tracing walls, rugs, shoes, and blankets, searching for the last, strongest pocket of the owner there. To us, smell is background, but to the cat, scent is identity, map, reassurance, and proof that love once occupied space here. That is why fading scent feels terrifying, because every lost trace is another death, smaller than the first, but just as real. The cat rubs its face against old fabric, trying to mix its own smell into the owner's memory, preserving connection through shared scent. When someone washes those clothes away, confusion spikes again, because the cat cannot understand why the last surviving evidence keeps disappearing too. Loss becomes layered now. First the missing body, then the fading smell, then the rearranged objects, then the insult of new routines. Even kindness from other people can feel threatening, because comfort offered by the wrong body only confirms the right body is absent. So the cat may hide from touch, then suddenly demand closeness, pulled between mistrust and desperate need for the familiar regulation again. In daylight, it stares at empty air sometimes, not hallucinating a ghost, but holding attention where memory expects shape and movement still. People call that eerie, yet it is often simple vigilance stretched too far, scanning absence until absence starts feeling almost visible there. Some nights, the cat returns to the bedroom and meows softly,
Meow.
not because it forgot, but because attachment keeps testing silence again. The cry changes over time too. It becomes rougher, longer, less hopeful, more like accusation aimed at a world gone numb now. This is where people say the cat is going crazy, but what they are really seeing is unresolved attachment without human language. A human can learn what death means and slowly build explanation around pain. A cat only feels repeated violation of expected return. That difference matters because the cat is not mourning an abstract ending. It is trapped inside a daily question nobody answers properly. Where did the footsteps go? Why did the voice stop? Who changed the bowl? Who moved the blanket? Why is silence everywhere? Because those questions never resolve? The cat invents a functional reality where the owner still exists, just unreachable for reasons unknown now. That private reality lets the cat keep loving forward, even while real time moves on and the rest of the home adapts. So it keeps leaving space on the bed, keeps facing the chair, keeps rushing to the door, obeying a bond stronger than evidence. To outsiders, those rituals look sad. Inside the cat, they are survival. Small acts that keep confusion from swallowing the whole world. Still, the strain shows physically. Less appetite, thinner sleep, faster startle responses, and a body that rarely fully unclenches through the day. Grief in animals often lives in muscles first, before behavior makes sense to us, because stress rewrites posture, rest, and rhythm daily. So when the cat curls tightly on the owner's sweater, it is not just sad, it is trying to regulate itself there. The fabric holds the last version of safety its body still trusts, and pressing into it briefly lowers panic enough to rest. But rest never lasts, because the house keeps reminding the cat that the world has shifted and no familiar voice repairs it. A bowl arrives without the call. A sunset comes without footsteps. A night falls without touch. And every omission reopens shock again. Over time, some cats adapt quietly, but others stay caught longer when the missing owner was the emotional anchor of daily life. This cat belongs to that second kind, where love and routine were braided so tightly that separation feels like reality itself tearing. That is why it can look fierce one moment and broken the next, switching states because both panic and freezing protect attachment.
You miss
When it
them
growls
too,
over old
don't
clothing,
you?
when it stares at empty doors, when it runs at familiar hours, all behaviors say one thing. The owner still exists inside the cat's map of the world, and everything painful comes from reality refusing to match that map. So no, the cat is not dramatic, disobedient, spoiled, or evil. It is overwhelmed by love that cannot understand disappearance at all. It cannot visit a grave, repeat comforting words, or accept explanation. It can only keep searching for the pattern that made life safe. That is why the waiting hurts so much to watch, because innocence keeps the door open long after certainty has gone away. And that is why the sudden bursts of chaos feel heartbreaking, because every frantic search begins with a tiny rebirth of hope. When that hope collapses again, the cat is left with raw nerves, exhausted muscles, and a home that never answers correctly anymore. What saves such a cat is not forceful correction, but patient consistency. Gentle presence, familiar smells, and time repeated kindly over days. New routines must arrive softly, so the nervous system learns the world is different without feeling that love has been erased too. Even then, the cat may keep one ritual forever, Because some bonds do not disappear, they simply change shape inside behavior itself. The saddest truth is simple. This cat is not losing its mind. It is still waiting for the one who is home.